Welcome everyone back to the stream. My name is Doña, aka Doña the Light, and today we're talking about stuff. But first and foremost, I want to tell y'all that I got merch, so I need you to go buy it. All right, here is my shop here on Etsy. My Etsy shop's called Doña the Light. I'm adding new items. My goal initially was to clear out the shop and add new items every month, but apparently Etsy wants you to have like 1,000 items, so I'm just gonna keep adding stuff. So I got a sweatshirt, I got some totes, I got some stickers, I got some hoodies, I got some mugs, and there will be more things added to the shop. Good morning, Jones. Thank you, Jones, for being an amazing mod. If you are catching this stream on Twitch, all the links to everything are in the chat. If you're catching the replay on YouTube, yes, buddy, hold on. If you're catching the replay on YouTube, everything that you need will be in the description of the video. If you're here live on Twitch, please say hello and good morning to my son DJ. He's off screen, but very much aware. Today we're going to be talking about the movie Inside Out with one of my favorite humans, Diana Robinson. She's a therapist in training. Also, really quick, if it's your first time here, this is essentially going to play out like a video podcast. So just put us on in the background and just listen to us talk. Nothing visually is happening other than this baby. He's probably the most exciting part of this entire stream. But yeah, Diana, if you want to start us off a little bit. Also, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the movie Inside Out, it came out in 2015. I put a little, the photo of like I don't know what it's called. The movie thing.
There you go, the movie poster or something, the advertisement.
It's down there, so if you aren't sure what movie we're talking about. But we will be talking about the movie, so if you haven't seen it and you don't want it to be spoiled,
stop this right now, go watch the movie, and then come back and listen.
And then come back, exactly. Watch the replay on YouTube. But yeah, go ahead, Diana. Go
ahead. Inside Out is just one of my favorite movies. I'm a big animation cartoon fanatic. I don't think you are ever too grown to enjoy cartoons. And this is just one of Disney Pixar's like just greatest in terms of course, with the actual animation, but just the way they set up, talking about emotions and how they might develop, how we might learn to manage our emotions, how they might, impact our daily functioning. I think is it's a really great way to depict all of those things. And so I love this movie for that.
Yes.
You and I were just looking it up, and it's it's a young girl, Riley, right? Her name's Riley. And I'm not sure how old she is, but I know she's like in elementary school. So, under 10 years old-ish. But yeah, she's uprooted from her house, from her family home in the Midwest. And they come to California, San Francisco, I think. And essentially, we are just along for the ride as all of the emotions in Riley's mind show us what it's like to navigate those types of things. So there's joy, fear, anger, disgust, and sadness. All characterized with these hilarious animations and depictions of it, voiced very properly as well, I think.
Absolutely.
Just perfectly cast for those things. But yeah, it's just a really great movie, like I said, in terms of depicting how our emotions can really play out. And it's done very humorously, but it's also done, I think, in just a really informative way, and in a way that allows you to learn how to talk about your emotions, whether you are, a parent with your child watching this, or a bunch of grown psychology students watching it and having a good cry. I was just telling Doña before we hopped on, like I just watched this like last year, but that's still within like the last couple of months.
Yeah.
With a bunch of folks in my program, and we just, we all had a really great cry, just enjoying it, watching it, and relating in various different ways. And
Absolutely.
it's just a beautiful movie. It's funny. You laugh, you cry. There's great things. It makes you
cry
think.
More.
You cry some more. Happy cries, sad cries.
Right.
It's an all-around really great movie. But yeah, I think it really shows a wonderful way of how our emotions can interact. As you and I were talking, kind of I think there's different views on what maybe the most important emotion might be.
Yeah.
And what the role of those emotions might be. And I think it's really interesting just to look at those different perspectives. And so yeah, I think that's why we're super excited to talk about it and hear, what y'all think in the comments and in the chat. And yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And welcome in Illusion to the chat. Thank you for dropping those biddies. I appreciate your support. Um, but yeah, so in addition to these emotions, another like key component of the movie is these core memories, and well, actually, just memories in general. They illustrate memories. I'm sure there's another word for it, but they illustrate memories as being these little balls. So every time Riley experiences something and it locks into her memory, the color of the ball is dependent upon whatever emotion was most present during that memory, and it like goes down this cool little like, and then they keep all these memories and then they log them away for the day, and it's a business. Let's be honest, it's a business. We know when it gets paid, but it's a business. So they have all these things at work, and then there's like these, I think it's 5 core memories, and
So, yeah.
all of them are yellow, which represents joy. Right? So that right there is already like a really important thing to consider, okay? That all of her core memories are happy. So there's a point in the movie in which sadness gets really close to the core memories and begins to like reach out and touch it, and it starts to turn blue, which means that the core memory would become sad. And Joy is like, oh my goodness, no. Joy is super happy and she's got beautiful hair and she's Joy.
Super bubbly, that one that's like way too chipper at like 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's
Joy.
me.
That's Joy.
I know, I see Spuddies in the chat. So Joy like freaks out. I mean, actually, all the emotions are kind of like, oh my goodness, sadness, what are you doing? Like, you can't touch a core memory. You should not be doing that,
Okay.
And so sadness is like kind of withdrawn and says, I don't know what was coming over me. I just felt the need to touch it, right? So long story short, the kind of conflict that's happening in the movie is that I think they were trying to prevent sadness from touching one of the core memories, and one of the core memories gets lost. And so headquarters, which is, where they all work, it starts to deteriorate because I think the core memories are what run it, I think.
So like the core memories are also attached to like these little islands, right?
Yes.
That were part of Riley's personality.
Yes.
Right. So there was like there was Family Island.
And
There was
goofball something.
Goofball Island. I think there was
There's one for hockey, I think, because she really loves
Yes.
hockey.
Yes.
Excuse me.
So those are I don't there's a couple of more, and I'm sure they're important. I can't think what they are. I don't know if Imagination had an island or not, but Imagination is important.
Yeah.
At another point in the movie.
Yes.
We're probably going to frustrate a lot of people as we go into this.
All right.
But it's going to be fun. Come along for the ride, y'all. But yeah, so as like you were saying, like one of the core memories like gets dislodged or something and gets like sucked up into long-term memory, because like when they flush all the memories out, they're getting taken out of short-term, put into long-term. It's like it's really too. I love how they do it. But yeah, as these, I think as Riley's having like not so great experiences in her new home and school, and these memories are getting deteriorated. So these islands start to break down, and the connections to like it's almost like the islands are connected to her brain essentially, or to headquarters. And they start breaking down, and so she no longer like finds. I think Goofball Island might have went down first, and so she no longer finds things fun that she used to, like sliding down a rail.
Right.
And things like that. I think when Dad had to go to work, instead of playing with the family, like Family Island kind of broke down a little bit. And they look like carnival like attractions that just like power down. It's and so the conflict. I think the journey is essentially joy and sadness. They take off to go and try and retrieve these core memories and bring them back.
Yeah.
And they use fear, anger, and disgust in headquarters to run everything.
Yeah.
Y'all can imagine how that goes. That's all you have.
Right.
It's not going to be a joy to be around.
Exactly.
But so they go on a trip to retrieve these memories. I'm trying to think. And we kind of see changes in Riley's personality as those little islands break down. Like I said, like she's not enjoying things. I think she ended up like stealing money from Mom's purse. So I think that was
Mm-hmm.
like Truth Island or Honesty Island or something. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
doing my headphones there, but yeah, it was like Honesty Island or something. So she like stole some. Oh yeah, because she wanted to run away. She was like, I'm done with San Francisco, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna run away.
Right. She
And
wanted to go back home to where they moved from, her
mm-hmm,
original hometown. Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, as confuddled as that was, between me and Diana trying to recall the exact
If y'all are
events of this
still here,
movie, right?
y'all earn some extra
It's a
points.
y'all need to watch it. Even though we're like talking in depth about the movie and its plot and stuff, you need to watch it. The movie definitely does the story a lot more justice. But the purpose of this
Yes.
conversation primarily is to discuss, first of all, Diana just went on a website because I was looking for an image to post up for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And she was reading that when they describe the movie, they describe joy as the most important emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And as two people, her and I who work with or in mental health, talking to people about their emotions, it's really interesting to see this movie say that and explain the movie this way when I felt as though the movie was illustrating how important sadness is and
Yeah.
how much we avoid it, but how much we actually really need to stop and feel sadness more often.
Mm-hmm.
So put yourself in this position. You're a child. All of a sudden, and it don't matter the reason. It could be a completely legitimate reason. Your parents or one of your parents got a new job. I don't know, your house burnt down. It really doesn't matter what the reason is, but you now have to move. So you're a child and you now have to move, and all of your memories are connected to where you currently live. Your friends, your family, your dogs, the weather, everything that you remember over the past, however many years you've existed is connected to this place. So it would not be typical or probably even healthy for you to only be able to experience joy
Right.
throughout this entire transition. I mean, even for adults, moving is difficult. Moving is difficult. And just like we were talking... Exactly. See? Moving is difficult.
It is.
Just like we were mentioning the other day during the stream that I was talking about grief when no one has passed away, grieving the loss of your previous home, even if it's not physically gone, just the fact that you're moving, now you have something else to grieve.
Mm-hmm.
And because grief wasn't essentially one of those 5 emotions, that would essentially fall into sadness. So realistically speaking, it would be normal and healthy for Riley to experience some sense of sadness or a lot of sadness for a couple days, maybe even a few months over this experience, because it's a huge shift. It's going to require a lot of adjusting, a lot of adapting. She's a child, so she's still trying to maybe even learn what coping mechanisms are, or if she has them, or if they work for her. Has she seen her parents practice them? Yada yada yada.
Right.
But did you put some heart for me? Oh, DJ. But yeah, it is very, very evident that I would say like the beginning, I don't know, 60% of the movie is heavily focused on joy. Like fear, disgust, and anger are almost like not even secondary. They're like tertiary emotions. Like they're just kind of there just to say they exist.
In every once in a while.
Yeah.
Just be like, hey, we don't like broccoli. Hey,
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like that's kind of it. Like they don't really play a major role.
Yeah, because even anger, I believe, should have came in a lot more during this transition. I mean, because typically anger is the most acceptable emotion aside from joy. We're like, oh, that's just how she's just feeling anger. Just leave her alone, give her some space, give her some time, whatever. But when we experience sadness, people immediately want to fix us.
Yes.
They want us to stop being sad. People will allow us to be angry, but people want to fix us when we're sad. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I kind of took away from my personal life experience and how it was illustrated in the movie. But I still believe that sadness is the best. Is the most important in that situation. So tag team.
No,
tag team
I
rant.
agree. I'm in. Like again, it's Yeah, I agree that they showed a lot of joy in the beginning, and I think even the majority of her memories were all not even just core memories, like they were for the most part joy, I think, or yellow, right? Um, but it was also interesting, like they showed some like disgust and fear as she was moving to the new house.
Mm-hmm.
They showed her like experiencing these emotions and
Mm-hmm.
trying to learn how um, to regulate them. Essentially,
Mm-hmm.
we were watching Riley develop emotion regulation, and
Mm-hmm.
just as she was kind of sinking into her feels, mom comes in and is like, "We just really need you to stay our happy girl. You're really doing great. Thank you so much. Keep that
Yes.
smile on your face. Dad needs that."
Yes.
And shut it all down, essentially.
Yep.
Like she no longer was able to really process what she was feeling. It was just like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, let me plaster this smile on my face
Yep.
and keep it pushing. Which, um, yeah, I cringe every time in that part of the movie. Like, no, no, like let her feel her
Yes.
feels.
Yes.
Um, but essentially, yeah, it lets her go on this journey of, and I think takes us on the journey as well of learning the importance of sadness. Because I agree,
Mm-hmm.
like that's what led us to want to talk about this. Is like, man, that movie is such a great like illustrator of how, yeah, just the utility of sadness and why
Mm-hmm.
we need to um, allow ourselves to actually feel that emotion more.
Yes.
Um,
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
one of the things that I talk about a lot with people in general, clients, everything, just like avoiding those feelings is what keeps us from healing.
Yep.
Um, so, the more we lean into those feels and allow us to actually process it,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna, they will eventually start to dissipate. They can't
Yes.
burn at that intensity forever, if we let them run their natural course.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, um, yeah, that's going into a whole nother thing there. But again, so yeah, having her just kind of shut that down was like, oh, I feel like that was how they were demonstrating for her to deal with her emotions, which
Yeah.
was, you know, don't just put a smile on your face regardless of what it is that you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Totally forgot about that part.
yeah, that
And it
part
was
always
so
stuck out with
subtle. You know what I
me.
mean? Because I know that all of us have experienced that.
Yes,
Like, oh, I just
yes.
appreciate you so much for just staying so happy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yesterday, I was talking to my mom about the rough day that I was having yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Just struggling. Like, this baby just would not stop crying, could not put him down. DJ wasn't doing anything but just being DJ. Like, he was just being, he wasn't doing anything extra out of the ordinary. But, like, we're sitting here and trying to get his schoolwork done, and the baby is like screaming in our faces. And so he's trying to say something to me, and I can't hear him. So then we have to keep
Mm-hmm.
repeating ourselves. And meanwhile, this kid's so screaming. I'm just like, ah, yeah. It was just too much. So I'm sharing this with my mom, and she's like, oh, well, thank goodness you're so strong. I'm like, I'm not strong. I'm tired. I am
Mm-hmm.
exhausted. And we
Mm-hmm.
had the opportunity to. What's up, buddy?
We can't scream.
We can't scream? Okay, that's right.
And
We
we
can't
don't
scream.
yell.
And we don't yell.
We
We yell
don't yell.
sometimes. Sometimes we yell. Sometimes yelling is okay. So my go-to, like I mentioned, I think Raylene was asking me what my kind of go-to coping mechanisms are. One of them is going outside. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, cool. Let's just pile into the car. We'll go to McDonald's. You know, we'll go to the park, and everything will be
Mm-hmm.
fine. And we went to the park, and it was like negative 85 degrees outside. I'm so exaggerating, but I'm such a California girl. I'm like,
Yeah,
is
you are.
that
I'm like, oh, okay,
is that
stop.
is that wind chill?
Ooh, ooh,
Yeah, I was shook it.
get my parka.
I was like, I don't even like wearing socks. What is this?
That's how you know
So
it's cold. I gotta put socks on.
right.
Oh
So my comfort was just completely taken away from me because I couldn't just sit and be outside
no.
and just
Mm-hmm.
exist because even outside was uncomfortable. So it was just really, really rough. But again, the go-to thing that my mom said was, thank goodness you're strong or
Mm-hmm.
something along those lines. And I'm like, no, I don't, no, no. No, and I
Not
kept
feeling
trying to
strong right now.
illustrate to her because she was like, "Oh, maybe I can after DJ's done with his sessions, I could come get DJ." And I'm like, "DJ's not the problem."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "DJ's not the one who's screaming in my ear." I was like, "It's the baby," but because he's a baby, he's unpredictable. He hasn't
Yeah.
gotten to really any type of real regulation in his life. He's
Right.
only been out of the womb for 5 months, almost 6. Like that's it. So as much as I don't want to have expectations, you know, everyone always tells you all you gotta do is just have a routine, just have a routine, just have a routine, just have a routine.
Mm-hmm.
Even my mom mentioned it. Well, maybe once you get a routine, I'm like, oh, we got a routine. As regular as this morning chat is, we have a routine. You know what I mean? Like,
His routine is regular, and he is
yeah,
screaming through the routine.
through the routine, through the routine. But it is, you know, just to the point of the mom in the movie saying, you know, thank you for being so this, instead of a better question, conversation, whatever would have been, I know this is a lot. How are you feeling? You know?
Yeah.
How are you feeling? Not are you okay? Because are you okay says it's not really okay for you to not be okay. I kind of want you to say yes. You know what I mean? I feel like sometimes are you okay is a little bit
leading. Are you
leading.
okay it's a polite question. It's like how are you? You don't actually want somebody to say how stop you in your tracks and say how they are really doing.
Exactly.
You expect them to be like, I'm good or whatever, something to just keep it pushing. So
Right.
are you okay? Yeah, I'm good. Like I feel like it's one of those, you know? It's
Exactly.
a drive-by check-in kind of a thing.
Yeah, but I know that mom was feeling overwhelmed, you know, and I think that's why she went to Riley and said, oh, thank goodness you're still, you know, like, basically you're being a constant. And
I think she literally said that.
Really?
I think she said something along those lines, like, yeah, you've remained our constant, like, happy girl or something like that.
Yeah.
Something along those lines, you know. So yeah, keep that brave face. I know Daddy really appreciates it. Something.
Yes,
I don't know, but it was like, yeah, Mom was feeling like Dad's pressure, and Mom was feeling her own pressure, and like it all kind of trickled down in that way.
It was the moving truck. They hadn't gotten their furniture and stuff yet because the moving truck was like super, super delayed. So I think that was the conversation that Mom and Dad had. Meanwhile, Riley's in her room sleeping on like a sleeping bag or something with like a few little things here and there. And then that's what made Mom come in and say that. And yeah, a better conversation would have been, hey, I know this is a lot because it's a lot for me. You know,
how are you feeling right now?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Honestly, that open-ended, how are you feeling? It's so much. It's so much. Period. Like full stop. Like it means so much to hear that.
Yeah, and then it gives you, as the parent or the other person, permission to express how you're feeling. Like, I mean, you could even blame it on, I'm crying because I can feel what you're feeling, when in reality, you just been feeling like crying all day and you haven't had a chance to cry.
Thank you for giving me this moment that I can actually break down. I feel your feels, baby girl. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, I wouldn't say I'm crying because of you. I would say, you know, I feel for you, and that makes me feel like crying too, or something like that. You know, I wouldn't say it's because of you that I'm crying. That sounds
absolutely not. That's totally
sounds burdensome.
That's not a good message.
No. But yeah, you know, because I mean, I don't think at any point during the movie they showed the parents really kind of, you know, like experience feel their feelings. You know,
no,
I mean, I know
they did a typical like mom dad kind of moment where they went into their little headquarters and we got to see their characters.
Oh yeah.
But it was typically like, you know, it was like dad putting the foot down. It was a great little comic relief.
It was.
It was hilarious. Yeah, it wasn't anything about actually, you know, experiencing or expressing your emotions.
Exactly. Exactly. And again, you know, if we don't see that practiced or illustrated from our parents, who are we supposed to learn that from? You know, the same reason why my biggest frustration with this guy has been that I am doing my best to be his comfort. You know what I mean? So that he can learn how to self-regulate. Because how do you know how to comfort yourself if you don't know what comfort feels like? You know what I mean? Yeah. So that was my frustration yesterday. I was like, I'm doing all I can. Like, you sleep with me. What? I can't put you back inside. Like, I don't. What more can I do? So I was yesterday was rough. We can talk about it later. But it was a lot. But yeah, so we have that situation where mom comes in and has the opportunity to kind of allow Riley to I would say like unravel, to melt, whatever.
Yeah.
In some sort of way.
To just emote whatever it is that she's feeling.
Exactly. To just emote whatever it is. And that opportunity is completely missed. And then like you said, we watch all these things start happening with her
I
personality.
forgot Hot Wheels. Curbs.
What?
The curbs.
What are you talking about?
The Hot Wheels.
What are you talking about?
To connect it.
Okay, we'll do it later.
But the house are curbs now.
Okay, we'll do it later.
Okay, go later.
I love Hot Wheels that hop the curb though. That's cool.
I was like, what?
I follow you, Blizzard. I got you. Buddy.
So, like Diana was mentioning, the crisis in the movie is they have to go get this core memory from long-term memory. And because the core memories run those, I think it's like 5 aspects of Riley's personality, those islands, like she said, they start to crumble. And we see things, like she said, excuse me, not DJ just completely, he's copying people's messages in the chat. That's hilarious. I hear you, Raylene. Raylene said, I was walking in snow today. Now she's talking about the Cali weather, and DJ just rewrote it. I'm so done.
I think I'm glad he emphasized that though, because that's a real point. Thank you, DJ.
Thank you for sharing, Raylene. I also saw that you said that you weren't having the best day. You know that I got open space for you whenever you need it. Send me a message. Hop in the chat. I won't be able to type in the chat, but I can definitely read it. But yeah, so Diana was mentioning how these islands kind of dying off and breaking is changing Riley's personality. And that immediately made me think of what it feels like or doesn't feel like to slowly slip into depression. Because typically, and I just watched a video about this like yesterday. Hold on, buddy. And it's like a 5-minute video, like a TED Ed video, which I love TED Ed videos. Like, I love their simplicity. I love that they use clinically correct terms. And so they describe depression, which apparently has been like a thing. They describe depression as a big black dog that you are dragging around everywhere, that you can't like get rid of. And I've had a lot of people. I
said, "Why I gotta be black though?" Anyway, continue.
That part. Anyways, we're gonna talk about that one day too. Yeah. The colors black and white. We're gonna talk about that because it's sip that coffee.
Oh, girl, you almost got me. You almost got me.
But we're going to talk about that one day because I got a lot to say about that. Because it goes so past colorism. It's like a whole different... Anyways. I've had people share in the Facebook groups that I'm in that they just like don't feel like themselves. They're unsure if they're depressed, but they just don't feel like doing the things that they normally do. They have no motivation, you know, yada, yada, yada. And, you know, like, I think it was Diana who said it. When you are in it, you can't see the forest for the trees, right? But if you have the opportunity to zoom out, then you can actually see like, oh my goodness, I was in a whole type of funk. But just think about that from the perspective of the movie. Hold on, DJ. One of her islands is Hockey Island. She loves to play hockey, right? It's like her favorite. So I think her dad tries to kind of like lighten up her mood in the midst of the move. They haven't gotten their furniture. Which means, you know, she hasn't gotten her stuff. She's just sleeping on like a sleeping bag. All they have is like bare essentials. And so he's in the, I don't know, living room or something. There's a ball of paper on the floor, and he wants to play hockey with her because they got their hockey sticks. So he wants to like, you know, hit the paper ball around. And because Hockey Island, either it had already fallen down or it was already crumbling, she did not connect with it anymore. Like immediately she was just like I don't want to do this. It doesn't feel, you know what I mean? So like literally aspects of her personality started slipping away. So go ahead, Miss Therapist in Training, and tell us some stuff about that.
Well, I mean, I like how you linked it that way because it was like I think it is, a really great depiction of kind of how that might feel. Like if you kind of imagine like, I've lost pieces of myself because like, especially for her as a child, right? Like she was from the Midwest. All she really like, her favorite thing to do was hockey. And that was something that she loved to do with her family. And just completely lost, you know, excitement and pleasure in that. Forgetting what else it was. It was something like, I think with, like sliding down the rail. Like that was when we saw like the actual function of those things. So it was like the I think the the island went down. She was like, "Nah, I ain't sliding down the rail." Then they fixed it. And like
Yeah.
halfway down, she's like, "Okay." And Goop, but yeah, it was just. I think it is a really, hmm, it is really hard to see what what you might like what you're slipping into when
Mm-hmm.
it's um little things like that you might not even realize that you're not engaging in anymore, because it's like you may not be finding pleasure in anything that you do, so you're not even recognizing that the things that typically would bring you out of a funk or cheer
Mm-hmm.
you up or make you feel somewhat lighter
Right.
aren't even having that same impact on you. You're just like, well, yeah, everything is shit and crap, so
Yeah. Schnitzel.
why would anything
Everything
feel
is
good? Everything's
schnitzel.
schnitzel, so I love it, thank you. Everything is schnitzel, so why would I um why would I enjoy working out, or why would I enjoy listening to music, or whatever, playing hockey, like like for Riley's case.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's I think we saw that also just kind of playing out just again in her attitude. Like she had an attitude with mom, with
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, they tried to get her onto a hockey team, and like she wasn't making friends, she was hating it. They were just
Mm-hmm.
like, nope. Um,
Right.
she became essentially a different person. Um, as those things were kind of changing within her. And
Yeah.
some people could look at that like, oh, she was becoming an angsty teen, or but it's like, she was still pretty young for that, so I don't think that's what's going on. But also, like, that's also not a great way to depict that, right? Like, okay, you
Right.
just you're in a grumpy mood, so you're an angsty teen. No, not necessarily. There could be some other schnitzel going on.
Right.
Like,
Right.
that question, how are you feeling,
Mm-hmm.
can allow those things to open up. And I think
Yeah.
just, for ourselves, just kind of recognizing those things, like, wait a minute, what is it that I'm actually feeling throughout my day? Am I more often than not feeling really, really crappy and just not enjoying what's going on in my life and around me? Or just, am I having, negative thoughts about myself or about, my situation? And even if that's not like, because for some people that's their baseline, and that's, there's nothing wrong with that if that's your
Mm-hmm.
baseline. Like, but I think just being able to be aware of when you dip below your baseline, it's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
wait a minute, this feels different
Right.
than my normal. Kind of being able to recognize those things, and it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, all of the things that we've been talking about, being able to, like, as we're talking about, like, with Riley in childhood, being able to go through that learning process of understanding and recognizing your emotions and just learning how to feel them and go through that process of dealing with them,
Mm-hmm.
whatever that might be, uh, and having that also modeled for us, preferably at least by our parents, if not in other realms
Yeah.
of our, school, the media, which that forget that that's hopeless, but school, the places that are supposed to give us education,
Yeah.
um, in some ways, right? Like, it takes a village, so extended
Mm-hmm.
family, all of that. Our communities, like, having ways to learn and demonstrate those things, I think is really important.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I run into with every client that I've ever worked with, um, whether it was in a fictional role play with my with my classmates or an actual client, like, difficulties with emotional regulation,
Mm-hmm.
difficulties with distress tolerance, so being able to handle distress that might be coming from either internally or external pressures, um, being able to practice mindfulness, um,
Yeah.
and being able to demonstrate or like practice interpersonal effectiveness, like setting boundaries in an effective and healthy way. Those four skills are things that every client I meet needs, and
Mm-hmm.
I've realized that it's skills that every human that wants to be social with other humans
Right.
needs.
Right.
I've like, in trying to, you know in learning about how to teach these skills, I'm recognizing, like, I don't have these skills. Like, oh,
Yeah.
there's that many emotions. Like, we got an emotion where
Right.
I'm like, wait, what? Like, there's so many, like, yeah, there's the basics that they
Right.
cover in this movie, but there are so many,
And
like,
that's something else that,
tiers
like,
of each
I
emotion.
wanted to, and I'm gonna look it up in just a second. I'm gonna pull up a little graphic of
Mm-hmm.
the wheel
Mm-hmm.
of all of them, and we can kind of pinpoint. But that's huge because that reminds me of back when I was working at this private junior college, San Joaquin Valley College. I was teaching there for about 2 years. And at one point, I mean, I'm the kind of person, like, I go places and I'm like, we gotta change stuff up. Let me see, I can just, do stuff differently. So, I was their learning resource coordinator. Essentially,
Okay.
I was like a librarian that wasn't a librarian because I don't have a degree in, I don't know, librarianism. I am not fluent in librariology.
Bookologist?
Bookologist?
I don't know. Oh,
I don't know what a library
okay,
degree
sorry,
is, but I don't have that. I ain't got it.
The foolery is in full effect.
So, so like I couldn't work at like a university as a librarian because you have to have a degree to be a librarian, in case anybody's wondering. Also, apparently librarians get paid very, very well. So if you're into research, DJ move.
Okay.
If you're into research, look into a degree. I don't know what it's called, but Google it. So anyways, I was the learning resource coordinator. So essentially what I did was, so I say hi to who? You can say hi to Diana, but you can't hear her if she says hi.
Or did he say?
She already said hi as soon as you walked in. See, she's waving. But, she's waving. Okay, he's got it. I'm like, I have headphones on, so she can say hi as she wants, but she can't hear. So basically, my purpose was to keep the learning resource coordinator, like, there's the learning resource center, like neat, tidy. It was like a little computer lab. I was there for tutoring. We had 2 degree programs that were associate's degree programs. So they would take math and English. So if they needed tutoring in those subjects, I could provide it for them, et cetera, et cetera. But because of that, I mean, I was kind of like, I had a lot of free time. So I was like, hey, what if I taught, like soft skills? Like, what if I went to classrooms, we created a schedule, and I just went into classrooms for like 30 minutes, gave them some sort of scenario, and taught them soft skills, because it was essentially a trade school. Like there's medical assisting, there's pharmacy tech, there's et cetera, et cetera. So it's trade school. So
you're really trying to get me.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all right.
Drink it now. So essentially, that's one of the biggest complaints that we get from employers when our students are going out to externship, is that they don't have soft skills. They're not the best communicators. They're not really the best at, following instructions. They're not the best at asking for help when they need it. Blah, 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 blah. They need support with soft skills. The school gives them all the hard skills they need, how to take blood pressure, how to do pharmacy math, blah, blah, blah. But they're not really teaching them soft skills because it's an accelerated program. So none of the programs have a specific class for soft skills. And that would be like an institution-wide thing that they'd have to change. So I started doing these soft skill, like, workshops, I guess you could say. And oh my goodness. I mean, they were interesting. They were very interesting. But to your point of emotional regulation and emotional intelligence, there were so many students, who I would say, what if you have a doctor that's like, hey, you, intern, extern, go ahead and do this real quick. I need you to go do that fast. How are you going to respond to them? Well, I'm not going to speak to them because they're speaking to me disrespectfully and I don't appreciate their tone. And I'm like, okay, pause. What did they say? What did the doctor actually say to you? They said, hey, extern, I need you to do this and I need you to do it quickly. Of those words, did they call you out your name? Kinda. They might not know your name yet, but that's okay. They didn't call you like, hey, dumb kid, or you know what I mean? They didn't put you down. They didn't insult you. They didn't insult your character. So where in that communication does the disrespect lie? You know what I mean? So these are the battles that we're facing because, again, the lack of emotional regulation, the lack of just emotional intelligence and the ability to just see people's words for their words and not for what we perceive them to be or, what we are projecting because we don't want to be spoken to like that. There was a lot of hand movement and a lot of neck movement and there were some snaps. And so I would speak to them just like that. I would speak to them and I wouldn't say anything crazy. Like I wouldn't insult them. I wouldn't do it. But I wanted to test them. I wanted to put them in situations that made them uncomfortable. And far too often when we're put in situations that make us uncomfortable, we just withdraw. We don't lean into it because leaning into it is uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable. And unless you know for a fact that you're in a space that's safe enough to do so, i.e. with your therapist or with your life coach, then you just are like, you get defensive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get defensive. That defense turns to anger. That anger pushes you into the fight, flight, freeze. And then before you know it, you're having a whole episode and nothing productive actually happened. Nothing productive actually happened, you know?
At all. Somebody is still waiting for their catheter or whatever it was that man just asked you to go put in. Like,
exactly. Exactly. Like this whole
emergency.
right, exactly. And that's the thing, you know, that's what we were trying to communicate to them too, especially the medical assistants, you know.
Right.
Anytime that you're in a medical environment, that sense of urgency has to kind of be implied, you know, and that is something that you kind of have to learn. But so that's another reason why the programs were accelerated, to kind of help instill that in the students, you know, that sense of urgency, that sense of, if someone tells you something, you always have to assume that it is right now.
Right.
If you have to ask clarifying questions, do so. But if I say, hey, you quickly go to room 25 and do blank, and you ask me what room, that's not a clarifying question, because I already told you that. You have to ask me something that I didn't already communicate to you. So yeah, that just really reminded me, you know, as Diane is mentioning, these things need to be taught to us in places in which we are taught things. I do believe that we, and again, that's a whole other conversation, but we place way too much on the handsome plates of our K through 12 educational system, when they're not even adequately compensated for what they do.
Right.
But yeah, there definitely has to be, you know, and that's just another reason number 837 as to why our educational system needs to change. Because why aren't we learning those things? If our kids are in school from the age of 5 or 6 all the way until 17 or 18, they are at an institution for anywhere between 6 to 8 hours a day. Why aren't we teaching them these things? Like, you know, and it doesn't have to be from someone who's got a degree in teaching. It could be from a therapist. You know what I mean? We could,
a social worker.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Like, why can't they work at schools too? I don't understand.
Makes no sense.
Right. If we need more social workers, we could just hire more social workers. Anyways.
I mean, I know they're graduating social workers, so they're ready.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's a whole nother. But but they are skills that I believe that we all need, because like I said, it's like I recognize, like I don't have emotional regulation skills that I'm learning with my clients sometimes. Like, oh, that's an interesting way to approach that. I'm gonna try that next time. Like, and it's like, all right, really, I am a grown person, and like I'm just hearing about these things.
Yeah.
Like,
that's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm hearing about them to be in the context to help others. Like, I'm not. Yeah. It's not even hearing about that to, again, just to be having a basic foundation of knowledge.
Yeah. And it's not even so much about, because a lot of people have this perception, well, if you teach that to children, how are they going to understand? Those words are so big. And it's like, you can call it whatever you want, as long as the outcome is the same. But in reality, you should call it what it is. Because if DJ says that he wants to learn, perfect example. DJ has been obsessed with bowling for the past couple of weeks. So his granny literally taught him how to write a bowling score, like the way that it's written at a bowling alley.
Yes.
He knows what a spare is. He knows what a strike is. He knows all of those things. And it's more just from, playing on the Wii. But he knows how to write the score. You get 2 tries with every
Come with me to my next bowling league night.
Right. And he knows how, like, okay, if you hit this many pins, you put the number. And then if you hit this many afterwards, like, he knows what symbol to put next to it.
That's awesome. I don't even know all of that.
Me neither. I was letting him lead. I was like, how do I?
I literally was on bowling leagues when I was a kid, so I should know that stuff. Kind of grew up in the bowling alley. I should know that.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's all automated when you're at the bowling alley. You know what I mean? You're never, or I don't know if you are ever actually writing it yourself. Or if it's all...
back in the way backs, but not in my day.
Okay.
Yeah. way back in the way back.
Yeah, but there's no reason to
I love that.
We can simplify things without dumbing them down, because dumbing them down to me means removing key components of whatever it is that we're teaching people, children, whoever. We can simplify things. Like if I'm teaching DJ about atoms, first I'm going to make sure it's, very visual, but I can still tell him that, hey, there's neutrons, electrons, and protons. I was like, positrons.
Jimmy Neutron.
Don't forget them,
right.
Forget them positrons. Them's positively charged.
Say it with confidence and we would all bought that, Don't forget them.
Let me tell you about them
I love
positrons. But I'm not going to call them like positive things, neutral things, and negative things. I'm going to call them what they're called: neutrons, electrons, and protons.
That's how we learn.
Exactly. So I think we definitely need to have another chat about those 4 things that you just talked about, because
here's the thing. Okay, well, those are two. That's too. That's above children's. Are your kids not having emotions? Are they not feeling these big things? Do we not want to give them the language to communicate what it is that they're feeling?
Right.
Like, call it what you want. No, call it what it is. No,
yes.
I make up silly that, and I'm like, there's no point in making a silly name for it. Like, you're feeling angry right now because your toy is broken. I get that. I'm upset when my favorite things are broken too.
Right.
Like I can and help them understand what it is they're feeling. I was talking with I was playing a game with my nephew when I was back home, and it was a little rambunctious, and I might have got a little carried away, and I kind of like ran up. But we were playing throw burrito anyway, and I kind of like ran up on him with the burrito, and he screamed, ah! And he was like, "Oh my God, Antoinette!" And like I was like, "I'm so sorry." And he was like, "That hurt." I was like, "Okay, wait, was it more painful or more scary?" And he was like, "Oh, it was actually kind of both." And I was like, "Okay, fair. Like I'm good with that. Like, sorry that I did that. Like my bad. Did not mean to do that. We were playing. I got carried away. Whatever. Like we talked about it in the moment, but like just having that clarification. Like, hey, let's take a moment. Like, did it?" Because he immediately went like, "Oh, that hurt." And I'm like, "Okay, this is the tiniest plushy little burrito thing. Like, I know I didn't hit you that hard, but not to discount his pain either." I'm like, "Okay, well, wait. Help me understand. Was it a little bit of this and a little bit of that? Was it more this, more that?" And he was like, like, you hurt me and you scared me." And I'm like, "Not bad. Okay.
Exactly.
Now we know. Like, I won't run up on you. Like, you are grown. I'm sorry."
I feel it. I feel it.
And like,
I love it.
Kids don't know. Like, but they feel those big emotions. If you talk about it, take a moment to help them recognize it. Like, it's not impossible for them to grasp it. Kids are smart.
It's true.
Like, how are we gonna think they're sponges and smart everywhere else? But we can't talk about emotions. They ain't gonna get that.
Right.
They're not gonna understand that.
That part.
Nah, they're having a
Oh my God.
Your child is having a tantrum. They clearly understand big emotions.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna say how to dumb.
They know how to express them.
Yes, exactly.
Like give them some words to learn how to express those emotions, understand them, recognize them. All of it. Yeah, I'm a big proponent on let's all learn how to recognize our emotions.
It's true. Oops. Okay, really quickly.
What do we got?
Jennifer just rated me with 14 people. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you all so much for being here. I didn't want to interrupt Diana while she was sharing.
I was just on a rant.
But no, it was perfect. It was totally. Jennifer knows we be here. We be talking about feelings. Today we're talking about the movie Inside Out, amongst other things, because me and Diana are tag team ranters. We just be tagging and teaming rant to rant. Thank you all so much. For being here. My son DJ's over here, being my mod with my phone. But yeah, while y'all are here, I'm here every single day. I stream live 7:30 a.m. Fridays at 8 o'clock Pacific. Talk about, he said bye. Talk about mental health. Talk about anything. If y'all are interested in supporting me, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's free.
Support.
You can buy some merch in my shop. But yeah, so right now, Diana and I are talking about, sharing and having conversations. Thank you for the sub, Jennifer. having conversations with our children about their emotions and like the way that they feel, and using the words, like not just being like, oh, does your twinkle dink hurt? First of all, that sounds bad. That was a terrible word. Not twinkle dink. That doesn't that sound inappropriate? I'm sorry. Does your I don't know. She was sharing a story.
There was something from Bob's Burgers, to be honest, and they were referring to something inappropriate. So yeah.
She was sharing a story as she was playing a game with her nephew, and hit him with a plushy burrito, and he said, "Ow, that hurt." And she asked him, was it more scary or was it more painful? Which
I did
of
like
these,
run up on him,
right?
It wasn't just like it was intense, y'all. It was intense. I got very carried away.
Yes, but yeah, have these conversations with our children very, very early on, and using the words. If you're angry, say that you're angry. If you're frustrated, say that you're frustrated. If you're disappointed, if your feelings are hurt, whatever it is, just say what it is that you're feeling, and use those as opportunities for you to share how you feel too. Like, there's been times where DJ looks like he's in a shadow. There's been times where I've been frustrated with DJ, right? Because my expectations are too high, and I recognize this afterwards, right? So I got baby on hip, and it's like 8:00 at night, 8:30, trying to get this to not him leaning in like a talk show host.
Yeah, like
y'all.
So.
DJ he has such a personality. But anywho, I'm frustrated. I'm trying to get him dressed quickly, right? So I'm trying to like throw his pajamas on, and I'm like trying to get his arms and legs and the panties to cooperate, and I'm getting all frustrated because it's not working quickly enough for me, right?
And then say bye to me.
No one's going anywhere yet. That's why they didn't say bye. So I'm like, I snap at him. I'm like, I just need you to do whatever. And then he does it, and you can see the like stunned look on his face. And then as I come down and I, get on my knees and hold his hands or whatever and apologize to him, usually he'll start crying. And I say, why are you upset? And he says, because you were being mean to me. And I say, I'm really sorry for yelling at you. I was trying to rush you, and I was getting really upset because I wanted this to happen fast, and I just have to recognize that this doesn't happen fast. Like, children do not get dressed quickly. It just doesn't. It's not a thing. They can get undressed pretty quickly.
Right.
They can get undressed like a ninja.
The ninth one is of the world. How can it go fast?
Just like one swipe, and even the socks are off. I don't even know.
Velcro, just...
I don't know how they do it. Putting the clothes on doesn't happen quickly. Shh. So, and so I hug him. I rub his back. Ask him if he's okay. He's got a burp cloth that's his like comfort thing. He calls it his binky. He wipes his face, and then he's okay. But my mom never did that. You know what I mean? I have never heard my mom say, "I'm sorry for snapping at you. I'm sorry for whatever." Even though it is very much a human response and I am allowed to express those things, I still have to take into consideration how it makes him feel. Because he didn't deserve it. You know what I mean?
Right.
He didn't do anything wrong. Objectively, he's just existing as a child.
Yeah.
Moving as children do. He's not doing anything wrong. It wasn't like he was sitting in the corner hitting his brother on the head with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
None of that was happening. So I just had to recognize, how that made him feel, and then apologize for it. Because again, I also it doesn't feel good to snap. It doesn't feel good to not be regulated. Jennifer says, I'm currently feeling grateful and motivated and also excited to watch a doc later on today. Very nice. And she says, yes, we have to learn to co-regulate instead of co-escalate. Okay, Jennifer.
Oh, I love it.
Okay,
I
DJ,
love that.
stop. What are you doing? Yes, I love that. That is perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect.
But okay, getting back to the movie real quick. We've been talking for 54 minutes already. Is it 54 minutes? Okay.
Wow.
Wanted to really talk about how important sadness was in the movie. So in the movie, yes, I saw you say that. Did you know that there's going to be an Inside Out 2? Yes. Diana actually mentioned it like right before we got on stream, and I was like, no way. First of all, I didn't even recognize that the first one came out in 2015. Like, we were in 2023. Doesn't even make any sense. Doesn't even make any sense. But I am so stoked that there's going to be an Inside Out 2, and you bet your bottom dollar we going to talk about it.
It's going to be great. That was great.
Okay, so sadness. Sadness is like the outcast emotion in the movie. Even though the reality is she played a huge role. You know what I mean? Like, the movie was basically about Riley, Joy, and Sadness. Like, that's who the movie was about, you know? Like,
And Bing Bong.
And Bing Bong. Oh, I forgot about Bing Bong.
That's where sadness worked her magic. That's where you really learn the importance of sadness.
I got goosebumps when you said
I
Bing
know.
Bong.
I know.
Jennifer says Bing Bong was my favorite. Oh, y'all have to watch this movie if you haven't.
Talking about it without mentioning, like, we went that whole way and did not mention Bing Bong. I'm really sorry. But yeah,
DJ, stop.
that's what. Oh, the shenanigans is in full force this morning, y'all.
Why are you laughing that way?
We
Bing
are
Bong
on
sounds like that TikTok. Bing Bong was Riley's imaginary friend
Yes.
when she was young.
That was funny.
And so yeah, Jones, you gotta watch the movie, dog. You have to. It's a really, really good movie.
That was funny.
Yes, you were laughing very loud and obnoxiously. It was wonderful. You said, ha, ha, ha. Queen of First says, I have to watch this movie. You do. Please, please.
Watch.
You absolutely do.
I don't know where it is yet. I don't know if it's...
I want to say it's on
Watch
Disney
the
Plus.
Probably. It's probably on Disney Plus.
Disney
It's a
Pixar, so
Disney
that makes
Pixar
sense.
movie, yeah. So it's probably on Disney Plus, y'all.
Welcome in the chat. You could chat later. You.
Right.
Watch the
Schedule a
movie.
watch party. Exactly.
You can watch.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
can, do the chat later.
Okay, hold on, buddy.
Bye.
Hold-
Are we
Anyways,
cutting into his live stream time?
I think so. I think
Okay.
Okay,
That's our cue.
you gotta get the what?
No, he didn't watch.
I love your jammas. Ooh.
Diana says she likes your pajamas.
Yeah, I love them.
What's on DJ's jammies? I think they're bears.
Yeah, it looks like a brown bear to me.
It's a bear.
It's that
I like them
California
too. They
bear,
look
y'all.
comfy. Look at you. Star of the show. Star of the show.
Of course.
God.
Of course.
But
Oh,
anywho,
it's too funny.
sadness. Sadness
Yes,
is
oh my
important.
goodness. Yes.
Sadness is important because, have a seat, buddy. Because sadness, and Diana's gonna correct me because I'm sure I'm gonna get this a little bit wrong. But sadness helps Joy see that that Riley can have multiple emotions about a memory. There's a memory, the specific memory that happened or that fell into long-term memory was Riley and her parents, or Riley and one of her parents, were ice skating. And I think Riley fell.
We gotta go to Dollar Tree.
Okay, buddy, we'll go later. Riley fell.
Are you done?
And so the happiness or the joy of that, DJ, yes, when I'm done, okay? But we still have to do schoolwork today, so we'll figure it out. We're going to go later this afternoon, not just after I'm done with the stream. Okay. Riley, I think, fell, and then the joy of that memory was, like, one of her parents coming to pick her up, or, you know, like, something happened. There was, like, a family embrace. It was super... No? Tell me.
The joy of the memory, it was she scored her first goal in hockey.
Oh, okay.
It was like, that was captured in the joy part. And then if
Okay.
you let the video play longer, or let that memory play longer, I think she had fallen shortly after that.
Uh-huh.
Or something like that, yeah. And then so... she was sad, she was hurting, whatever, but her family came together to comfort her.
Yes.
And so it was a sad moment, but that helped to build Family Island.
Yes.
If I remember correct, it was something like that, because I think it was
Okay.
those two emotions were wrapped up in that core memory, but they
Yes.
only had ever focused on the joyful piece of it.
Exactly. And so that was the initial memory, and they don't show which memory. I don't think they probably do actually. In the earlier part of the movie, that Sadness is going to go touch, and everyone's like, Sadness, no, don't touch it, because as she goes to touch it, it starts turning blue, and everyone's freaking out, like, oh no, it's a happy memory, it's a happy core memory. All the core memories are joyous, all of them are yellow. And so once they actually get the memory, and then Sadness goes to touch it, and I think they touch it together or something like that, and then it's like they always show the memories as like flashbacks. So like she said, like Diana said, it's like it's playing out, right? Because she's remembering it. So it's like it starts to happen and it's yellow, and then it's blue, and then it's yellow again, or something like that. But Joy finally just allowed Sadness to kind of, I guess, put her, like, let Riley feel the sadness that she felt in that moment, and not just kind of forced for only joy to be the only emotion that was felt in that core memory. But it was like, since, you know, Riley was born, all of the core memories were always only joyous, you know? And similar to so many conversations that we've had here on the stream, sadness is one of those kinds of emotions, like I mentioned earlier, that everyone wants you to just not feel. People will let you be angry, sort of, for the most part. I mean, even like Black moms, they'll be like, you can go be angry somewhere else. You know what I mean?
It's acceptable to express anger.
It's acceptable to express anger. But when it comes to sadness, it's like, no, stop. That makes me uncomfortable. I don't want to see you cry. I don't want to hear you cry. Shut it down. All the way.
Done.
Ball up the sadness. Put it in a jar. Throw it away. Whatever. So Rhetorical says, and, you know, to acknowledge that there's value in emotions besides joy. Exactly. Because like we mentioned before, disgust, fear, and anger are like completely sideline emotion in the movie, which is okay. Because, you know, it would be kind of difficult to sort of emphasize all of the emotions in, you know, an hour and a half movie. So I get that part. Right. That was okay for the sake of the movie. But, yeah, it was really, really interesting to go along this journey with joy and sadness. I mean, Bing Bong was there. But
because that was the other part when Bing Bong was sad and Joy was like, come on, we got to keep moving, blah blah blah, keep being happy, and Sadness sat down and was like, yeah, that's really sad with blah blah blah. She just sat down and just helped him. She literally helped him process. She just had a little therapy moment with him, like just attentive listening and reflecting what he was feeling. And he was just like, yeah, and then dried his little candy tears, and they was good. Like he felt better. Yes. That was also, I think, where Joy got to see like the importance and the utility of feeling sadness, because he was able to process those things and keep it pushing and not just shove it down, but he actually felt it and felt better afterwards. You know, I always feel good after a good cry. Right. And I don't even cry candy. So like, I'm telling y'all, watch this movie. It's so good.
So Jennifer says, it's so important to appreciate all of your feelings for what they are. Not everything is joyful. Also, there's no negative feelings. They're unpleasant maybe, but not negative. They're information about where we are in that moment. Exactly. So Rhetorical says, as a completely irrelevant aside, in the scene where the father is imagining a game, the sport is different depending on the regional variant you're watching. Really? I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
It's really interesting to know. And as y'all are going back, Diana had mentioned there's a point in the movie in which they show the dad's
like his inner
headquarters, and they show mom's headquarters, and they're supposed to be like dad's headquarters, like, she's looking at us, and they're watching a game. They're watching like a football game or something in the headquarters. And of course, all the mom's headquarters people are like, he's not even paying attention. He's not even yada yada yada. And it's so like she said, it was really wonderful comic relief. Totally related to it as a mom. I was like, they never paying attention.
Yeah. I think they did something too, like the foot is coming down, like dad put his foot down, like it was ridiculous.
It was really good. It was really, really good. Jennifer said, I'm excited to see how the emotions in Riley's head will be as a teen. Okay, so that's what
I'm assuming part 2 would be as well, like her as a teenager. That was my assumption.
Got it.
I didn't read into it because I literally just saw that and got too excited. And I was like, no, we got to talk about that today, and I closed it. And that's so I kind of hope that's true. We get to see her actually as an angsty teen.
Yes, that would be amazing. Oh, are you awake? No, kind of. But yeah, said all of that to say, this movie, if you sit down and actually like really watch it and be present, like put your phone on D&D, like watch the movie and just really become completely engrossed in it and just see what message is, because there's going to be more than one, you take away from it. You know, for me, like I keep mentioning, it was that sadness is useful. Like we need to allow ourselves to feel sadness. There's so many times.
It's a universal emotion for a reason.
Exactly.
It's a
reason why we emote it. Like so many parts of our body emote sadness, from our eyes to our literal face. Emote sadness, from the tears to our posture. Like you can visibly see when someone is sad, but often when you ask them,
hear it, you can feel it.
Yeah. Often when you ask someone, hey, are you sad? They perk up and say, no, I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine. Totally okay. Because we avoid it so hard because everybody wants to, again,
Well, because it's attributed to weakness. Anger is
yes.
associated with strength. I'm mad. I'm gonna destroy something. I'm gonna whatever. I'm gonna be
Mm-hmm.
scared. Whatever people do when they're angry, or whatever
Right.
people equate with anger.
Right.
But sadness is equated with weakness
Mm-hmm.
in my mind. Not just in my mind. I think in in
Yeah.
society's mind, like that's it's linked to weakness. So to feel sad, and that's why we talk often like anger is, yes, it's a base emotion, it's a core emotion, whatever, it's a universal emotion, but it's also a secondary emotion.
Yes.
It is very much, because it is so acceptable for us to um, express that
Mm.
is what we typically lean on. But if we stop for a moment and figure out why are we angry, and
Yes.
that's where the emotion wheel comes in real handy, is you
Mm-hmm.
can be like, oh, wait a minute, no, I'm feeling disrespected. Oh, because I'm feeling embarrassed.
Yeah.
Oh, because like you can actually trace what it is that you're feeling. Why are you angry? It's like, oh, I'm
Yes.
feeling let down. I'm feeling undervalued. I'm feeling whatever it is. And that's usually not going to be tied to the anger slice of the pie.
Right.
It'll be
Right.
tied to something else. Yeah,
Oops.
the emotion wheel is just super.
I'm gonna pull one up real quick.
Oh yes, that's right. I forgot we were supposed to do that.
Let me
Because
type
yeah, it's super helpful, y'all.
emotion wheel so
And
that
there's
y'all
many
can't see
different
us for a
versions.
second. You can just see the emotion wheel, which is okay because I can. I'm too lazy to try. This one only really, Kyrie. You just gonna headbutt me in the face? That's how you
Because yeah,
feel?
there's lots of different versions. There's like
Okay,
small, like
here's one.
simple ones,
Um,
more in-depth ones.
and Sir Rhetorical said, Sir Rhetorical said, Sir Rhetorical said, you say that as if it's normal to watch a film while distracted. Is that normal? Absolutely. I feel like it shouldn't be. Art should be appreciated with your whole being. Damn it, I agree. But I've definitely
Yes.
watched lots of movies distracted.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
Keep something on
unfortunately, it's
for all of us.
rhetorical. Yes, I can attest that it is. It is normal. Let me see if y'all can see this whole, kind of. Let me move it just a little bit. It's kind of hard to read. Okay, that's most of it. All right, so, Diana, you can't see it.
That's okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Why? Why, Karu? Why?
You say you have nothing else to say. We are done.
Ooh, and I love that they have it. Labeled similar to how Jennifer described it. Comfortable emotions and uncomfortable. Actually, let me just send this to you really quick, Diana.
Nice.
Copy
I was
and
gonna
put
say, yeah,
it.
because wait a minute, I don't know if I've seen that one.
Put her. My
A lot of
face
different
is
versions.
getting attacked. Okay, let me send that to you, and then Karu, can I have my face? That'd be great. Can I? Sweet. All right. So they have. Excuse me. Comfortable emotions on the right, uncomfortable emotions on the left. Comfortable
Oh,
emotions, we have happy, loved, confident, and playful.
okay.
Uncomfortable emotions, we have sad, scared, angry, and embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. So happy, we have little extensions that go to caring, grateful, and excited. Loved, we have respected, valued, accepted. Confident, we have brave, hopeful, and powerful. Playful, we have creative, curious, and affectionate. And then
Interesting.
switching over to the uncomfortable emotions, embarrassed, we have guilty, excluded, and ashamed. Angry, we have annoyed, jealous, and bored. Love that.
Mm-hmm.
Scared, we have
Mm-hmm.
overwhelmed, powerless, and anxious.
Hmm.
Sad, we have disappointed, hurt, and lonely. So this is beautiful. Like if someone is saying that they feel good or okay or whatever, we can challenge them by saying, hey, which of these do you identify with the most? Happy, loved, confident, or playful?
Mm-hmm.
Just to help give them more insight into sitting with, well, how am I feeling right now? Which
Mm-hmm.
which of these would I actually connect with or identify with the most?
Yeah.
Jennifer said I need to lurk and decompress post stream, but this is a fabulous discussion. I'm really glad we got to be here to listen. Thank you, Jennifer. Of course, take your
Thanks,
time.
Jennifer.
Take your time. Sir Rhetorical says I feel like there are probably people who'd argue anger is a comfortable emotion. Ooh, Sir Rhetorical, share.
I
Share.
agree.
And Sir Rhetorical says, where is absolute neutrality? Ground complete zero.
That's important though. That is actually, I really appreciate that you said that, because people really, really take for granted the power of being neutral, or the fact that there is a neutral.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to always be at one end of the spectrum. Like, you can just be.
Yeah, that's very true.
Know?
That's very
so
true.
I really appreciate that you said that. And I agree that anger would be a more comfortable emotion, because that's what's acceptable. People are like, it's accepted to express it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're more comfortable to express our emotions in that way. I think that lines up exactly with what we were saying.
Yes, exactly.
Because I'm going to be more comfortable to yell in anger than I am to sit and cry in front of somebody when they got my order wrong at the whatever.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is that I'm yelling about. I don't
or even yelling happiness, like for you to for you to be in like McDonald's and yell because you're upset. I mean, if you yell, people are going to assume that you're upset.
True.
If you're not like, yeah, I love sausage McMuffins, like, people are going to be like, yo, chill out. Like, why are you like this? I need you to take a breath and just chill. Like, there's no reason.
It's like, you know where, Diana.
Right? You and these dang sausage McMuffins. Oh my goodness.
You don't even understand. I ate so many last week. It's not even funny. Oh, that's why you got me dying right now. Oh, that was me.
But if you say that, people look at you like you're insane. Like, why are you screaming because you're happy? Unless you're in a situation or an environment that allows it, like a sports game.
Right.
Excuse me. Whereas, we're just finding more and more examples of how it's so much more acceptable to emote anger in just about any situation.
Yeah.
If you are emoting almost anything out loud, people's first assumption is that it's anger, which is another reason why, as I'm shaking my baby, another reason why, I forgot you can still see me, another reason why Black people are perceived as angry all the time, because often we are very emotive, emoting, emotable.
Emotive people. Yeah, you know the first time.
We emote a lot. We are vocal. Mm-hmm. We can be loud, and we are not always emoting anger at all, especially when we're amongst each other and people that we love and feel safe with. We emote when we're feeling playful. We emote when we're feeling embarrassed. Like, we emote a lot, but that's often why, like, society's perception of us is so skewed, because you go to, like, a beauty supply store and I see someone that I know and I'm like, girl, I see you, and everyone's like, oh my goodness, who's about to fight? And I'm like, nah, I just saw my girl Diana. Like, I haven't seen her.
I haven't seen it. Yeah.
Months, and I'm just
really excited.
I'm really excited right now.
And hey,
right, like you ain't gotta call security. I'm just
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Snooze, computer, you are not restarting right now. Bugging me.
Hey,
that's been a struggle. I have been
yes.
I have been let's see, what's the word? Volume shamed all
my
life.
That part. That is a wonderful way to describe it. If y'all want to look at this emotion wheel, I'm going to put it in the chat, and then I'm going to put this back on Diana and I. Baby boy is apparently telling me that it is... Oh. Is it time, Kairu? Look at the people. Look at the people, Kairu. Tell them about your struggle.
Oh, tell them.
All my life I had to fight. Look, he stopped.
He said, oh, Mom, you're so embarrassing.
I'm sorry, baby boy.
Why you putting words in my mouth?
I had to do it. But anyway, y'all, it has been an amazing conversation. I appreciate all of you for sticking by for this hour and 15-minute conversation. That has been...
This is a roller coaster ride.
It's so roller coastery, so cyclical.
If y'all still with us, my goodness.
Right.
You deserve a churro.
Right. For those of you that are interested in... Kyrie, for real? For real? Do I have to sing you a song? I can't sing on stream. People gonna leave for sure if I start singing on stream. I'll sing for you when I'm not live.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Right.
I was like, no, just playing. Gotcha.
But I appreciate y'all so much. For anyone who is still here in the chat, If you would like to support me off stream, you can follow or subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's not YouTube, that's YR. Goodness gracious. YT. There we go. I also have merch that you can purchase if you'd like to support me monetarily. Here is my shop link, my Etsy shop link. I'm currently still adding tons of stuff to the shop, just getting everything finalized.
My merch is on the way. I can't wait.
Yes, mine too. I just ordered some more. I just made some tumblers that I gotta get in there today, probably, hopefully. But yeah, I appreciate you all so much. Service Circle says the year command. I know, right? YR. Appreciate you all so much for being here, being a part of the conversation. Please follow me here on Twitch. Again, I have these conversations every single morning, 7:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 a.m. Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Central, 2:30 p.m. GMT. I think 2:30. Yeah, GMT. I know that because of Raylene.
Okay.
So rhetorical, I think it's like overnight time for you right now. I forget.
Overnight times. Dang, thanks for being here.
I know, right?
I love it. Listening to our shenanigans.
Right. No need to call me out.
It's a good way to start or end your day. So I think, we're good at any hour.
I agree. If y'all didn't get the chance to watch the entire stream, please watch the replay on YouTube because I could use the watched hours. And again, no need to actually watch us. Just put us on and listen to the shenanigans in the background. Diana will be here weekly, pretty much. I'm going to kidnap her time. Just 1 hour a week. That's all I need from her. Just 1 hour a week.
I got you.
Just 1 hour a week. But,
it is my absolute pleasure to be here.
Yes, and I love her so much. I've known Diana since I was like, I don't know, 7.
She was a bitty one, y'all.
I was a little baby. I was a little baby.
Little baby, Doña May. Oh my goodness.
And now we're adults together, and life is hard, and we can just talk to each other about it. Life has been life and hard.
Life been life and hard. So yes, very thankful to have this beautiful, beautiful soul in my life.
Okay.
So we're probably gonna end this now before we end up in tears.
Like I know, right?
We're gonna end up showing y'all some emotion regulation.
Right.
I don't know.
All right, my sweet loves. Have a wonderful day. Make sure that you are eating nutritious food and drinking lots of water. Take some naps today. Yeah, do all those things. All right. Diana, you gotta go. I'm gonna end the stream. Okay. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.